Aye, shepherd's pie. Greetings from the Philippines. I'm back. I want to make a video today on the pros and cons of Thailand versus Cambodia. But I don't want to subject you to an echo. I don't want to subject you to the sounds of cockles or the building work that's going on over there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump on the old mean machine. I'm going to head a couple of kilometres up the road and I'm going to make the video on the mean streets of Valencia. And hopefully that'll work more because, or work better, because those who've been following the channel for a while will know now that if I make them in the house it's too echoey. If I make them in the garden there's too much sounds of cockles and all the rest of it. So the only solution I can think of is grab the old Insta360 X3, jump on the old mean machine and hit Valencia. So that's what I'm going to do. Catch you on the other side, be back in a minute. Aye, shepherd's pie. I'm back in Valencia as promised. Valencia Plaza in all its glory. Not a lot going on here today. But I didn't really come here to film Valencia. I came here to talk about the subject in hand, and hopefully it'll be quiet enough without distraction. Just as I was about to start filming then, a pigeon shat on my head. I should have started a couple of seconds earlier and you would have seen it. Without a word of a lie, shat on my head, first time in my life. I just been wiping my hands off. There you go. Anyway, back to the subject in hand. Thailand versus Cambodia. Now, I will do my best to be as subjective as I possibly can on this one. But the reality is, everyone who watches the channel knows how much I love Thailand. For me, there's not much of a choice, you know, it would be Thailand, but not everyone in the world is like me. You might be a Cambodia type of person, so if you're giving thought to extended holiday or maybe trying life in either of the countries, I'm going to try and give you my my balanced, unbiased opinions on the pros and cons of both countries. So if we start off, first of all, if you're going to go there, first thing you need to worry about is visas. Now, Thailand first. Most Western countries, visas are easy. Probably at the time of publishing this video, you'll find that your home country, you can go to Thailand for 60 days with a visa waiver on arrival. That's certainly what the suggestions were last week. Whether that has come into effect or not yet, I just do not know. But yeah, visa on arrival, a visa waiver, 60 days. Don't have to worry about a visa, no cost. If they haven't enacted that yet, then 30 days on arrival, no cost. Cambodia, you're going to have to buy a visa. $35 I think it is. That's the usual price, $35. Well, that was the last time I went there. That gets you a month. I believe you can extend it for a month. But then you might start to have problems. Now, when we talk about visas on these videos, I'm talking about doing it through the book, by the rules, legally. The reason I say that is there are certain requirements to get visas in Cambodia and Thailand, but there are fixers who will bypass a lot of these problems for you. So, you know, I'm sure if you go and see the right visa agent, they'll solve all these problems for a price. I'm not saying it can't be done, but I can't go down the route of discussing every way of getting out of it, every bypass or clause. So I'm sticking to the rules. As I say, the last time I did a video, I said, in Cambodia, it's difficult after the first couple of months, because then you've got to get a business visa, or you've got to find a job. You can get a visa for that for 6 months. But after that, you've got to actually register a business, and etc, etc. And a few people said in the comments, oh no, you don't have to do that, you just take it to a visa agent and they'll get this stamp and that. Yeah, well, they're breaking the rules. I know, I'm not saying they won't do that. They'll help you with funds in Thailand, to get a visa sorted out and that, but that's not strictly allowed. I mean, they are breaking the rules. So the reality is, if you follow the book, if you follow the rules, and like I say, I'm not saying you should, Thailand wins on visas for most people, particularly if you're under 55, because many moons ago, Cambodia was one of the easiest countries in the world to go to in terms of visas. You could just rock up at the airport, you could get a business visa for the year. I think they cost about $295, and you never had to register a business or anything. You just had your visa. But they stopped all that. Now you have to register a business or get full-time employment. And as I said, I think you can get a 6-month visa while you're trying to do that, but after that you're going to have a problem unless you use one of these agents who's going to sort it out for you somehow. Don't know how they do it, but they are the requirements. So if you do it by the book, it's more difficult than Thailand, because in Thailand you can go there for the month, you can extend for a month. If you're 50 years old, you can get a retirement visa. You have to have a certain amount of money in the bank, which is I think it's around the £16,000 to £18,000 mark. Don't know what that would be in dollars. You can do, I'm talking about the UK pounds, you can do the conversion. Or you've got to have a pension, a monthly pension, which comes to, I don't know, maybe $600 a month, £1,600 a month, so $1,800–1,900 or whatever. Or you can have a mixture of both. You can have half the money in the bank, or you can have half the money in a pension, as long as it comes to the required amount. Quite cheap to get. You might want to use an agent, but so you've got to have financial requirements. But again, if you can't meet the financial requirements, there are agents out there who, for a fee, will solve that for you. But if we're looking at it by the book, if you're over 50, under 55, Thailand's easier and cheaper for the visa. If you're over that age, now there's a place down here where you get massages. I'm going to change subject for a minute. I've had a couple of massages here, 100 pesos. You can't fault it. 45-minute leg back massage, and they do it every night here. I might even come back and have one tonight now I've seen that. So anyway, yeah, so that's the reality of it. If you're under 55 in Cambodia and you're going by the book, you're going to have to register a business or something like that. Simple as. Or you're going to have to find a dodgy visa agent or travel agent, there seem to be, who will fix the problem for you. But those are the realities. Past 55, Cambodia, I think, is the easier one, because in Cambodia, their financial requirements are less than they are in Thailand. I think it's about $800 a month in pension, if I'm right. If I'm wrong, correct me in the old comments. And a lot of people have said they don't check, your figures at all. Just as long as you've got the age. I don't know about that. I've never applied for one over there, but they don't check check much. You're just basically in. Well, that's easier than Thailand, because in Thailand you have to prove it. You've either got to get an agent who proves it on your behalf somehow, or you prove it yourself. And you've got to get a letter from the embassy, and you've got to get bank details and all that kind of thing. Anyway, if you're interested in going to either of these countries, do your own research, look into it. But I'm saying on face value, under 55, Thailand is probably the easiest for visa, because you've got education visa options and all that kind of thing in Thailand, and the retirement visas start 5 years earlier. Over 55, give it to Cambodia, because Cambodia is lower financial requirements and seems to be easier to get the old visa. So let's look at the language next. I think it's probably the same, to be honest with you. I mean, if you want to learn Thai or you want to learn Khmer, you know, the Cambodian language, then you know, power to you. You'll be able to live anywhere in the country. If you've got a girlfriend who's Cambodian or Thai, then again, that won't be a problem. She'll sort that out for you. I personally think it's good to try and learn the languages in these countries. Although I haven't tried in the Philippines, because I'm of the opinion that their English is always going to be better than my Filipino, so what's the point? But maybe that's just because I'm a lazy man. Anyway, if you live in any of the tourist places in Thailand, you're going to be fine with the language. You know, people will speak English. It's not going to be too difficult. If you get off the beaten track, you're going to find it tougher. You know, once you get up to the mountains or, you know, rural Isan, you know, the level of English drops, and it could be tough living for you if you haven't learned the language. And the trouble is, where you live in Thailand, it's one thing learning a language, but it doesn't work, or mine didn't. When I lived up in Phetchabun in the mountains, I could hold conversations with the local villagers. When I moved down to Buriram with my next girlfriend, living there, they understood very little I was saying. I don't know, it was the accent, they seemed to have different words. It was just much harder to communicate. It was like starting from scratch again. Might be the same in Cambodia, I don't know. But the point is, I think it's the same in both countries in terms of visa language. If you're living in Phnom Penh, or you're living in Siem Reap or Kompot in Cambodia, you'll be able to get by without learning the language. If you're living in Bangkok, if you're living in Pattaya or Phuket or any of the popular tourist destinations in Thailand, you'll get by, won't be a problem. But move off the beaten track into the wilderness in either country, you're going to start to struggle. I say a couple of people said, oh, they'd never had a problem in Siem Reap, you know, with the language. Well, just get on your bike and drive 20 kilometres outside Siem Reap and go to some of the surrounding villages and see how you get on then, speaking English. I think you might find it's not as easy as you might imagine. But anyway, that's just based on my experience. It's getting quite noisy now. We get the noisiest trikes in the world here. I'm going to go back to the square. It's generally a quiet place, Valencia, that's why I came up here to do the video, but anywhere in Philippines you're going to get noise from the trikes and all the rest of it. So anyway, we've done the visas, we've spoken about the language, cost of living. Now, this is always a contentious one, this, because as I've said before, I spent the majority of my time in Thailand, just over 7 years in Thailand. If you push my time in Cambodia, about just over a year altogether. Never in one go, always a couple of months or a month here, a month there, you know, but the whole thing together would have come to just under a year. Or just over a year. And in my time there, I was always surprised how cheap Cambodia was. Hotels, cheaper. Get some amazing deals in Siem Reap for hotels and in Kompot, or better deals in Siem Reap. I think, in my experience, the cost of living is slightly cheaper in Siem Reap than it is in Kompot. But there you go. Phnom Penh, not surprisingly, is more expensive. But cheaper than Thailand. Alcohol is incredibly cheap in Cambodia. Cheapest place in the world, in my experience. even cheaper than the Philippines. You can get a pint of Anchor, which is the popular Cambodian beer over there, which is not bad at all, for 50 cents American. You know, you can get bottles of whiskey. Well, they claim it's whiskey, and it doesn't taste bad. There's one called Winston Churchill or Lord Churchill or something. Actually, no, it's not. It's King Edward's whiskey or something like that. Anyway, I don't know. But it was $6 a bottle for a litre, and I've drunk that a couple of times. It's not bad. I don't have expensive tastes. Cigarettes, when I was smoking days, incredibly cheap over there. Get 200 cigarettes for a couple of dollars. You know, it's a very cheap place if you've got vices. Food, I don't know, street food seems to be a bit pricier, but that's in the tourist areas. Anyway, that's my experience. But when you talk to expats living in Cambodia and say, oh, it must be so cheap for you to live here, or you read the forums and things, they're always complaining that, why do you think it's cheaper in Cambodia than it is in Thailand? And my answer would be because whenever I've gone there I've spent less. But, you know, take my advice with a pinch of salt. Not been there as long as a lot of these chaps have. So maybe other things, maybe electrical things and that are more expensive. I never really bought any electrical things over there. I never had the need to. So I don't know. But certainly when it comes for a holiday, you know, alcohol, meals out, I think it's cheaper. And if you look on Marketplace on Facebook and that, you can get some incredible deals for, like, you know, apartments, you know, for rent for a year in Siem Reap, really cheap and nice and modern. I mean, the standard of accommodation, to be honest with you, in the tourist places between Thailand and Cambodia, more or less the same, really. If you're going to rent an apartment, you know, a Marketplace and that, they've got modern kitchens and a lot more Western and European in influence than they are in the Philippines. Because it's hard to find a place here with what we would call a decent Western fitted kitchen kind of thing, which is important to me because I like doing stuff in the kitchen. So anyway, cost of living, I would give it to Cambodia. I think it's cheaper, but again, it depends where you're living. Obviously, if you're living in Phnom Penh, somewhere nice there, it's going to cost you a lot more than it probably is living in one of the provinces in Thailand. Probably going to cost you more than it would living in Pattaya. Is it going to cost you more than living in a similar place in Bangkok? I don't think so. So, cost, probably Cambodia. I'll say to keep the old expats over there happy, more or less the same. But alcohol, very cheap. Hotel accommodation, very cheap. Okay, infrastructure, which is important if you're going to live there. Thailand wins, hands down, hands down. The infrastructure in my experience in Cambodia is pretty damn awful. Internet, etc. can be okay in places like Siem Reap. The roads within Siem Reap can be okay, same income. But once you get out, once you drive, you know, the main roads when you're coming down from Bangkok, it's awful. There are potholes and dirt tracks, and some of what they would call the major roads over there, I mean, they're a disgrace, they really are. So infrastructure's not great over there. Healthcare, again, never been sick over there, but I know people who've lived over there. Light times ahead in Thailand. Apparently you get a lot of what you would call fake doctors in Cambodia, people who aren't really qualified. You know, the hospitals, the infrastructure. I mean, the thing about Cambodia is it's a very, very poor country. And you see poverty everywhere. It can be quite heartbreaking, you know, going out in places like Siem Reap and you see the street children, because they are poor and they are suffering, and it's awful to see. It breaks your heart. So as you'd expect in a poor country, the infrastructure isn't great. You know, the healthcare is diabolical. Coming back to the cost of living, which I should have mentioned, when it comes down to cars, Cambodia is a bloody expensive place. I think they got a 200% tax system on top of on imported vehicles. I'll talk loud now. I made a mistake of coming down here because we're walking where the old tricycles are. If you come to Valencia and you want to get a tricycle or you want to get a jeepney, this is where you get them from. I'm going to go down this side street here and hopefully it will get a bit quieter. See, I get so preoccupied by what I'm saying, I start coming down noisy streets. I don't concentrate on where I'm going, I don't think. Anyway, we're back on track. Yeah, cars are incredibly expensive, 200% or 100% tax, so, you know, you want to buy a car for 15,000, you're going to pay 30,000, unless the car is made in Cambodia, and surprise, surprise, they don't make any cars in Cambodia, so you don't see many cars, and the ones you do, they're generally old and dilapidated. I mean, don't get me wrong, when you go to Phnom Penh, you'll see a lot of nice sports cars and that there, because there's a lot of corruption. The jeepneys are following me now, and because there's a lot of corruption there, there are some Cambodians with a lot of money, but it's a strange rule taxing that. They basically make it impossible for people to own cars, which is probably why they don't have any decent roads. I don't know, I don't understand the logic behind that, but there you go. Thailand, they make quite a lot of cars in the UK. I do wonder, someone might say in the comments though, see, look at this bastard now. He's come down here, he didn't need to. He's turning around and now he's going to drive back down here. He's followed me for the last couple of minutes of this video. Don't know what his game is. Never been up here before. A restaurant I've never seen before. There we go. Anyway, seems quiet down here. So why they do that, I don't know. Yeah, the question I was going to ask is, do they, because in the Philippines you get these Suzukis that they cut in half, because they've got a similar tax thing over here, so they cut them in half in Japan and then send them over in halves and reassemble them this end, and it gets by the import tax because they're imported as parts. I wonder if they do that in Cambodia or something like that. Got no idea. Anyway, so where were we? So yeah, that affects cost of living. So in terms of hospital care and all that kind of stuff, you're probably going to want, you know, Thailand's going to win hands down. It's going to win on everything like that. But if you get sick, maybe health doesn't bother you, maybe help. You know, you can always go to Thailand. It's very cheap to get a flight. And I think, speaking to expats over there, that's what a lot of them do. So anyway, infrastructure. Yep, Thailand wins hands down. Food, surprise, surprise, Thailand wins, hands down. Food in Cambodia is, it's not bad, it's not bad, it's not great, it's not bad. I'm going to say this quietly now, it's better than Filipino food. Well, having said that, the last few weeks since I've lived in the new house and Ellen's been cooking things from scratch we got in the market, my respect for the food over here has improved. There's a lot more to it than I thought, but it's not as good as Thai food. Now Cambodian food, as I say, my experience is very cheap over there, particularly in Siem Reap, and they do a lot of Western food, good quality Western food, and they like their bread, you know, they like, you know, they're very into, like, you know, French sticks and baguettes because of the French influence. So you can get some very reasonably priced, good quality Western food in the hotels. The Cambodian food, as I say, it's not bad. They've got a few, like, you know, signature dishes. I can't remember the names of them now. Tends not to be as spicy as Thai food, and it's a bit bland for my liking. You get the happy pizzas over there, which I like, but I'm not going to go into any detail about what they are because I don't want to get demonetised. But if you want to know about happy pizza, Google it and you'll find out. There's lots of places doing that. I have heard, whether it's true or not, but the reason the food's not so great in Cambodia is because of the old Khmer Rouge Pol Pot days, when they wiped out, you know, the killing fields. They killed all the chefs and the academics and things, and a lot of the recipes, the old Cambodian, like, you know, foods have been lost, you know, the recipes and ingredients for their best dishes. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I give the food in Thailand 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10 sometimes, but it never goes below that. Say the food in Cambodia, 6 or 7 out of 10. I mean, so Thailand wins on that. So who lives there in terms of expats? Getting noisy now, so I'm going to try and cross the road. Bring this video to an end soon, because it's been going quite a long time. Trying to avoid the motorbikes for when I come to my conclusion. Otherwise, you won't hear what I'm saying, and the video will be pointless. Well, I'm sure some people think it's pointless anyway, and they might be right. So, in conclusion, food's better in Thailand, infrastructure's better in Thailand, visas 50-50 really. Language, you're going to encourage or encounter the same problems in both countries. It really depends. Not a lot in that. Cost of living, I'd say that goes to Cambodia. Not a lot in it, obviously. Depends where you live. We've done infrastructure, haven't we? The expats tend to be different in Cambodia. There's a nice mix. I mean, if you go to places like Pattaya in Thailand, you know, all the, you know, the red light areas, you get a certain type of expat there. Tend to be the old sex tourists. As again, said many times in video, don't have problems with these people. Say these people, that sounds bad there, you know, so those kind of people. Tend to be a good laugh, tend to enjoy themselves, tend to be hedonistic, you know, makes for a good night out, you know, no problem with that at all. When you go to the provinces and things, the expats you meet there in Thailand tend to be guys who have met, you know, Thai women, settled down, move over to there, living with the families. Don't really get that many single guys, you know, living out in the provinces and things like that. In places like Chiang Mai, you do get a lot of digital nomads, people like that, you know, younger generation travelling over there, and I hear you get a lot more of them in Chiang Rai now. Interesting thing about Cambodia is you seem to get a mix in every city. It's like in Siem Reap, you'll get a percentage of older expats, and they tend to be experienced expats. I mean, they have spent many years in Asia, usually in places like Thailand, Vietnam, etc., and they've ended up in Cambodia for whatever reason. Well, I'll give you one of my theories. It's because the alcohol's cheap. You meet a lot of alcoholics in Thailand of a certain age, because there are certain things you can get over there quite easily. I'm not going to talk about what they are, because obviously I don't want to get demonetised. And the alcohol's cheap, and they tend to be the kind of guys who will sit in a bar all day just getting drunk. Tend not to be as sociable as the expats in Thailand, in my experience. But I think that's a financial thing. I think a lot of them end up there because it is cheaper in terms of the alcohol. They don't have the funds to stay in Thailand. But because Cambodia is so poor, you get a lot of volunteers, and you get a lot of, you know, younger digital nomads, but also people, you know, teaching English, volunteering to improve things. And you meet some really cool people over there, younger people. I mean, don't get me wrong, you meet some really cool old expats. You know, a lot of the ones I'm talking about, you buy them a drink, they'll tell you some stories for their travels, you know, it's like, you know, it's different, you know, so it's just different. And as I say, a lot of places you will find in Cambodia have got an equal mix of both. You know, I think you do tend to find more single guys in places like, well, no, because you find a lot of single, what am I talking about? You find a lot of single guys in Thailand. Don't know what happened there, but my recorder stopped. Maybe it was censoring the old, because the bike went by about its muffler. Anyway, I think it was trying to give me a signal that it's time to finish off now. So I'll say now, in my opinion, Cambodia is a fantastic place. A lot of time there. For me, don't intend on living there long term. Wouldn't mind going back again for a month or two here, but can't ever see me ending my days there. Thailand, fantastic place. Yeah, can definitely see myself ending my days there. But this video is not about me, it's about you and if you're considering it. So my conclusions. If you are worried about your health, money's not so much of an issue, and you want a fantastic infrastructure and as good a healthcare as you're going to get in Asia, and fantastic food and all the rest, then I would strongly recommend that you give consideration to Thailand, because you'll be happy there. If, however, money is a bind, you want a quieter lifestyle, you just want to relax and enjoy a drink and spend your days at a slower pace, you are living within a strict budget, then Cambodia is probably for you. If you want to do some good, if you want to make your mark in the world, you know, by doing some good, start a business there, but help people or whatever, do a bit of volunteering work, give a bit of something back, then Cambodia could be for you. Because places like Siem Reap, they're pretty vibrant these days. Yeah, they got some places where, you know, you can sit and drink with other expats and, you know, I wouldn't say waste away, I mean just relax and live a slower pace. But they've also got a lot of trendy restaurants, quite a vibrant area. Same like they got the Riverside in Cambodia, because a lot of like chefs and people go over there with the idea of volunteering to teach people to chef and all that kind of thing. Get a lot of entrepreneurial Cambodians. I mean, so if you're a younger person, you can have a really good time there. You know, down Pub Street and that kind of thing. Good place to start a business, I think. It's a growing economy as well. I mean, it is a poor country, but, you know, a lot of opportunities there, I believe, in my experience. Not that I've got an experience, you know, where you could, you know, potentially open a bar or hotel or business like that if you know what you're doing, for a fraction of the price it would cost you in Thailand. On the basis of maybe in 10, 20 years' time, you know, Cambodia, whatever, the situation has improved, the tourist industry has evolved to the extent that, you know, it could be highly profitable and you could sell it for a lot more money. Seems like a lot of opportunity. Dog's taking a crap over there. I shall put my camera away. Anyway, I'm going to end it now because I have rambled quite a bit. Can't think of anything I haven't covered. If I've missed anything and you want me to talk about it, just mention it in the comments and I'll try and answer. But there we are. That's my conclusions. Cambodia versus Thailand. In fact, I'm just going to add one little bit. My advice would be try them both. If you're not been to either country, don't pick them on the basis of my video. That would be stupidity. Watch a few more videos, but take everything you see on YouTube with a pinch of salt. Go to them. Go to one for a couple of months, go to the other one for a couple of months. Better than that, go to one for a couple of months. They were waving, that's why I swung the old camera around. Yeah, you know, travel around. Spend 6 months travelling around Thailand, 6 months travelling around Cambodia, you know, cross the border in between. You won't have to worry about getting extended visas and that because you've left the country. Draw your own conclusions. Yeah, there you go. Well, hopefully you enjoyed the video. As I say, I've walked around aimlessly, talking into the camera, because I keep getting comments rightly, fair enough, saying that my kitchen is an echo, well, my house is an echo chamber and there's too many roosters, so I hit the road, I hit the mean streets of Valencia. Hopefully it's worked. If it hasn't, back to the drawing board. As a lorry passes. Anyway, there we go, said enough. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If you hadn't subscribed, be very grateful if you did. Unbelievable. But whether you do, whether you don't, wherever you are, stay safe, be lucky.